Let's head across to Neeraj to find out how exactly the closing today is panning out. And Neeraj, the picture is not looking good. Fifth straight day of losses, and closing at day's low is never a good sign for markets.
Yeah, closing at day's low on a day when the other markets have done reasonably well, Navneet. That's the bigger worry, I would presume. For 127 points, 10,230. This is the lowest point of the Nifty, sub all moving averages, fresh 2018 lows. The Nifty Bank too at 24385, sub all the key moving averages. So don't look at those, and the mid caps and the small caps too have been clobbered. But really, it's the afternoon of where the large caps have taken a pounding. Save for one or two names, and those are also cursory in nature. The losses are exaggerated, and you will see that there is not one space that has got 5 or 6% losses, but a clutch of names out there which have fallen 2.5–3.5% apiece. So SBI, ICICI, Axis, Reliance Industries is down about a couple of percentage points. Kotak Bank, Maruti is down about a couple of percentage points. ICICI Bank 2.5%, and Larsen & Toubro and ITC about 1.5% lower. HDFC and HDFC Bank. HDFC was up about 1.5% somewhere midway through trade. It's now down about 1.5%. So you know the key culprits in today's session. Almost all the heavyweights down and out in the session today. And well, it's not without reason that you would have 1.25% kind of a cut. Most of it which gets thrown in the last 1 hour of trade. And the breadth really got damaged, Navneet, in the last 1 hour.
That's right, Neeraj. There was selling seen across the board. So let me start off with the losers first. The sugar space was under pressure according to ISMA report for the sugar season. The production has gone up by nearly 40%, and we've seen the prices also falling from mid of February. As a result of that, you have stocks like Dwarikesh and Triveni, which fell the most in the range of 9 to 10%. I'm mentioning only two stocks, but the entire space was down in today's trade. BEML, which surged sharply in last hour of trade yesterday after the news came in that the government had given an in-principle approval to sell 26% stake. That got sold into yesterday's rally. BEML was down in today's session. The PSU banking space came under pressure. The Nifty PSU banking index was one of the top losers. So you had stocks like Bank of India and Syndicate Bank, which fell the most in today's session. United Spirits from the spirit space was one of the F&O counters which came under pressure. Fresh shorting was seen, and there was some news of the state of Haryana increasing excise duty. Maybe it was a result of that. But you also had from the media space, which at one point of time during the day was bucking the trend, but Dish TV was under pressure throughout the session. So that stock saw fresh shorting in today's session. In fact, Dish TV also touched fresh 52-week low in today's trade. Just few stocks which managed to hold on to the gains on a day like this. You had Schneider Electric, which surged nearly 6% in trade. Also Vakrangi, which was locked in upper circuit today. You also had Bombay Dyeing, that counter which has been a multi-bagger in the last 1 year, saw some gains coming about in today's trade. So from the broader markets, Neeraj, clearly the picture didn't look great at all.
Okay, and Hormus tells me that this is the lowest level that we've seen on the Nifty since December 13, 2017. So yes, 2018 lows for sure, but lowest level since December 13. That's quite telling. And I think if you just pull up the RSI, you will see now. I mean, and of course, I know that we're not really obeying some key levels, but we are just about 100 points away from that 200-day moving average for the Nifty as well. The turnover should come up on your screen. This is the Nifty, yes, and right there, 10,127 is the 200-day moving average. The turnover should come up on your screen. Yesterday we had a fairly placid turnover. In today's session, I think a little bit of a pickup on the F&O side, not so much on the cash side, but the F&O volumes certainly have picked up, Navneet. Yesterday sub 5 lakh crores, right? Yeah. This is slightly above average, so the volumes have gone higher. The market breadth has turned terrible in the last few minutes, in the last 1.5 hours of trade. Look at this. This is what, 1:5 or 1:6 in favor of the declines, and all of that damage happening post 2 p.m. That speaks about the ferocity of selling that came in at the broader end of the spectrum in the last 1 hour of trade. And the contributors list will show you that every heavyweight worth its salt is right up there. ITC, RIL, HDFC Bank, ICICI. HDFC doesn't find a presence despite being down 1.5%. It just goes to show the kind of pull that the other stocks have had on the downside. I mean, 120 points, the contribution, and a large portion. Actually, it's across the board, really. Yeah. You don't really have to look at one or two names. Almost everything has just fallen apart. This kind of disturbs sentiment in a meaningful way, I would presume. People were thinking that we are in a trend wherein you bounce back from key levels and then once 3-4 days of a rally, maybe 200-250 points, the sell on rally template. But this clearly has led us to underperform meaningfully, despite the global markets not looking all that bad.
Neeraj, that's a very important point, because European markets also started on a positive note. SGX today suggested a positive tick. We did have a gap up opening that got sold into, and particularly for Bank Nifty, I think, which has led the losses today, closing below the 200-day moving average. I don't know when was the last time that happened, but Bank Nifty now going ahead, if it continues to grind lower, that will only put pressure going ahead for markets.
Yes, this would indicate, this smacks of absence of buyers, to be honest, Navneet.
Yes.
This is people shying away from buying, and moves like these wherein you start off on a good note and then come off, typically tend to discourage even the trading buys that would be coming in.
In fact, it will be important to see how the internals look like, because the domestic institutions, at least in the last 2 sessions, have not participated a lot on the cash side.
Yeah,
so if today's selling is as a result of both, that may not look that great.
Yeah, yesterday was a small trickle of sell for both the FIs and DIs. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the session today as well.